Hello and welcome to our report card for the Absolute. If you haven't seen one of these before, basically what I do is go back and revisit a ball that's been out for a few months to check in, see how popular it's been, see if I got it right in the review, and report on how much we've used it and what it's best at. Some people want to have certain balls as soon as they come out, while other people will wait for a few months to judge the reception and staying power. Also, since it is a report card, I will actually be giving out grades. Kind of. We're going to have a little bit more fun with it going forward. Before we get started, big shout out and thanks as always to Royal Crest Lanes. They're a big part of bringing these videos to you. All it takes is a text and we have everything we need. Also, my code Rosdahl10 will get you 10% off your order at checkout at CoolWick, and if you check the description, you'll find a bunch of helpful links and information, including our personal specs and a link to buy the Absolute at Bowler's Mart. I do receive a 5% commission on all sales through the link. The Absolute was a real surprise for both Angel and I. The new Sentinel core is going to be in several balls going forward. I'm sure it creates a lot of strength with an effective rather than excessive amount of torque that can cause ASIMs to lock up and straighten out or go forward. What we were worried about was the R2S deep cover. A cleaner, slightly weaker version of R2S sounded sketchy. We're talking about weaker than the High Road Pearl cover here, and while the Astrophysics was R2S Pearl on a similar strength core and was quite good, it was bordering on a cover core mismatch. Sometimes the core wanted to do things the cover just didn't have the traction for, and going even further, what I thought was the wrong direction worried me. However, not the first time, won't be the last. After getting surface issues worked out, the Absolute absolutely lives up to the hype. I don't think they needed to make 15 videos for it and go as berserk as they did promoting it. I know there's a lot of people that were really turned off by the hype, but I'd recommend putting that aside and giving the ball a fair look. So I decided to play a little Eternity side by side with it because it really is like a cleaner and weaker Eternity, and by extension, a cleaner and weaker Altered Reality, which makes it more throwable more often. I don't think it's a fresh condition ball on anything, at least without some surface on it. I think it's best after some surface and a little lane shine, but it's a ball that should be a strong consideration for the mid stages of transition on all but the heaviest and longest conditions. The core design retains a lot of torque, but slows it down just enough that the ball can pick up and continue rather than lock up when it hits friction. The cover helps this out a lot too, because with it being a medium to medium low strength cover, it glides on the oil and then doesn't jerk or stand up or hook stop when it hits friction. It blends just enough to make the reaction continuous while still being pretty responsive. It's a great balance. If I were to compare it to something else from another company for reference, it's like a cleaner and sharper top speed. It really shares that general shape and utility. For me, it gets a 7 currently on the new Kool-Aid meter. It's just a little too clean and sharp for me to use it much. However, I really do like the shape and versatility, so it's still around. I haven't moved on from it yet. I can see the utility, I just need to spend more time with it to see what I might need to do to get it to fit. Maybe it doesn't end up working out. I'm thinking that might be the case, because right now it's just too much boing. But if I can get some games on it and tame it down just a bit, I think that puts it in usable territory for me, and if that happens, there are plenty of older high friction surfaces in the area and at tournaments we hit annually to make it really useful. For Angel, it's a 9. It works very well for her. She's been favoring the Eternity over it just for a bit more traction and blend, but the Absolute is on the short list for longer format tournaments when she has to get in and bend it with the guys. That can be tricky for her because she typically needs control above all else, but when she has to open her angles up, she needs something that blends that control with length and recovery, and the Absolute fits that bill to a T. Check out the description for a link to Bowler's Mart to get one of these ordered or find any of your other bowling needs. Remember to use my code Rosdahl10 for 10% off at CoolWick.com. Be sure to check out my memberships for plenty of early access and members-only content. Thanks to my outstanding members. Thank you for watching, and may the strikes be with you.